I used to feel so devastated. At times I thought we never make it.
What is the deal, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon, Lifestyles Defined. So Edgar hit me up the other day. We were talking about some Photoshop stuff, and I mentioned to him smooth skin and how I found a technique. More so, Jerry told me about a new technique for skin smoothing, and he was curious. He said, well, you know, maybe you can do a video to show me how that works. So that's the motivation for today's video. So what you're looking at here is a portrait of my lady. I was just messing around with some concepts in the house and my street light, so I wanted to get some really dope low-key images, and I was satisfied with how this image came out. I really like the character, although the flash is a little too harsh. I got to get a softbox for that flash, but I'm not going to be doing too much to address the harshness of the light. But I could if I wanted to, but you know, I want to keep this down to very little editing, very little processing. I like I said, I like the character of it. So first things first, what I usually do is let's see if we can get rid of any noise. You know, denoise is really good for that. And I'll go light because there really isn't much noise to begin with. Let's reduce the blur a little, no grain. There really wasn't much noise to begin with. I think I shot this at like ISO 100. So, you know, the flash did a good job at filling the frame and pretty much doing everything that needs to be done. So not too much in terms of noise. And even so, I did touch it up a little bit in Lightroom. So I kind of punched the contrast up, and I kind of went really dark with the darks. You can sort of make out the background here a little bit, but the idea was to really have this super punchy contrast with her face and what she was wearing, and then nothing in the background. So not too worried about noise, and it was still relatively a noise-free image. So now we got rid of the noise, what we're gonna do is we need to clean this up a little bit. So we're gonna create a layer, and we're gonna go to town on some of her, I don't want to call them pimples, I don't know what, to her blackheads or whatever, or moles. Thank God she's not in the room when I'm editing this, or she would slap me in the back of the head. But this is important to this particular technique because if this isn't done, the skin smoothing technique will look a little weird with all the bumps and whatnot that are still left. So whoops, it is important that you at least take the time to try to clean up the image a little bit and get rid of some of the less desirables, is what we'll call them. Let's get rid of that, and this shouldn't take too long, right? Just got some glitter going on there. And just in general, I do this with some of my portraits, but one, I prefer to spend most of my time actually out taking photographs as opposed to doing meticulous work like this and editing. So I don't really indulge in the super meticulous work that is retouching, but you know, it's just not my thing. I think I took a little too much there. Let's get a smaller brush. Let's get that out of there. Okay. And this, let's get rid of that, whatever that is. All right, so I think this is okay. We can do a little more here. But my style is generally, I don't like to do too much. I don't like the image to look like the person's a Barbie doll, or they're, you know, they're some sort of perfect being. I like to see some, or the person's imperfections in the image, because that, you know, that's who they are. Yep, got some nice catch lines. I should have did something in Lightroom about that. But anyway, so if we just let me back it out. If we toggle this layer on and off, kind of a difference, right? You can see what we did there. All right, so let's create new layer. Control Alt Shift E. That saves all of our, oh wait, damn it, messed it up. New layer. Control Shift Alt E. There we go. So now we got everything we've done so far. Now, the technique requires that you create 3 layers. So let's duplicate this layer twice. The bottom layer, we're gonna call this median. The middle layer, we're gonna call it high pass. And this layer, we're gonna call mask. So let's turn off the first 2 to see what this does. You're gonna go to filter, noise, and median. And 30 is where you want to be, anywhere from 25 to 35, but I just leave it on 30, it's fine. So you see that this effect that it creates, that sort of blur. Then we'll go to high pass. You're going to go to filter, other, and high pass. And we want to sort of do it to where we can make out clearly the lines, because these lines is sort of what we want to be defined. 2.9 is okay. And then the last layer is the mask. Let's create a layer mask here. Let's get a brush. Now, this is where things are going to get interesting. This is where the meticulous work of this technique happens. And what you want to do here is pretty much paint the... actually, make sure you're painting with a black brush. I should have said that. You're going to want to paint the areas of the skin that you want to be smoothened. Is that a word? Or you want to be smooth. So let's get around the eyebrows, go around the edges here. And this image is particularly easy to work with because it's this this low-key sort of effect to it, where the you see, oh, hang on. Apparently I can't paint and talk at the same time. But you see the edges are clearly defined. Sometimes this technique can get really difficult when there's individual strands of hair in the face, and it really requires a lot of effort to get right. So just know that. And I also want to point out that this technique is one of those things where the more you take your time, the better the image or the end result will be. So of course I'm really going through it rather fast, just because I want to show you guys rather quickly, keep the video length down. But what you want to, in actuality, what you should be doing is you should be coming in areas around the nose, the mouth, the eyes, and you want to get in there nice, and you want to make sure everything's nicely defined, right? And again, the better you can do this, the better this image comes out. So I can't stress that enough. But let's come back out and go back to the sloppy editing. All right, let's fill this in. I know it doesn't look like much, but this stuff actually works. Shout out to Jerry for mentioning and showing me this technique. Let's get a smaller brush here. Get in there. Boom. I may have done that a little too much. Okay. Good. Let's close that up. Okay. Now, what I would suggest is, see this? This is sort of what I was talking about. Make sure you get stuff like this, even though it's out of focus. You just want to make sure. Oh crap! You just want to make sure there's a nice consistency to the effect. So wherever you see brown for the skin, just sort of tag that. Now, don't forget about the hands, because it'll look very, very strange that her face has got this almost perfect skin and her hands are super well defined and super sharp. So don't forget about the hands. It's something you should be mindful of when doing this. God damn it. I know there's a shortcut to change colors, but I always forget what it was. Change colors with a brush. I think it's N or something like that. Alright. Okay, so we're almost there. Our masking is done. You can see, pretty much what that's about right there. Now, what you want to do is select the high pass layer, go to your blending options and select soft light. Instantly, you see what that did. Now, how we control the effect is we select the median layer and we toggle the effect with the opacity. So look, when I drop it down, what happens, right? That's normal. That's 100%. So ideally, I'm going to guess that the effect would be best somewhere around 50 to 70. So let's throw it up to 50, right? That still looks good. That looks like she's heavily made up. 75 looks more toward the perfect end. Let me go for 60. I like where 60 is. And look at that. Look at that. Skin smoothening. And it doesn't look too perfect. It looks just good enough. And I am completely happy with that. So thank you guys for tuning in. Edgar, good luck to you with your skin smoothening technique going forward. It's not a terribly difficult one. It's just one that requires patience. But like I mentioned before, I think the more time you can devote to the image and you know, being very, very detailed on applying your mask, the better it comes out. And I think this is pretty good. But don't forget to like the video, guys, if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the comments below. Let me know if you've used this technique before or if you have a different skin smoothening technique. I'm always up for grabs. And of course, you know, there are, like, if I go back into Topaz, right, and I select something like Clarity, under here there's going to be a skin softening filter. Let's see. And that does a good job, but it definitely didn't look like what we got just now. So this is definitely the difference, and this is, I think it is definitely worth our time to do the manual work. But yeah, it's your boy Ramon. I'm out of here. Peace.
From the deep forest into the sun.